Browns training camp day 16. The team was in helmets and shorts today. Reportedly, it was a light day for the veterans and the first team guys ahead of tomorrow's joint practice with the Buffalo Bills. Shedeur Sanders with the first team offense today threw a touchdown to Casey Concepcion in a 7-on-7 red zone session. I saw another touchdown to Blake Whiteheart. He had an easy touchdown throw in the end zone to Jerry Jeudy, and you guys will never believe this, Jeudy dropped the ball. Gosh, he sucks so bad. Before practice, Deshaun Watson was asked about the potential negative fan response in the stadium when he takes the field on Saturday.
I don't care. I don't care.
And maybe that question rattled him a little bit today because Deshaun Watson had not one, but two more interceptions. He underthrew a pass to Tylan Wallace. Trey Avery made the interception. Then he got picked off on the goal line by Michael Coates Jr. By the way, I am loving this rookie cornerback and how he's stepping up in practice and in the preseason. And Watson had another horrible throw in the end zone that should have been an easy pick for E-Man. The rookie just dropped the pass. And McNeil Warren also broke up a Shedeur pass to Harold Fannin, so the rookie safety continues to make plays in camp. 2-minute drill to end practice. The Browns were down by 2 points. Shedeur Sanders got the starting offense into field goal range after overcoming a 4th and long, but his last-second spike to stop the clock was done before everybody on the line was set, which resulted in a pre-snap penalty, 10-second runoff, end of game. Deshaun Watson's 2-minute drill. He got the offense into field goal range on a defensive pass interference penalty by Michael Coates, who was covering Carson Ryan down the field. Now, some other notes from practice. Elgton Jenkins, Titus Howard, back at practice today after missing yesterday. They alternated reps with Luke Whippler and DeJuan Jones. Quinshon Judkins was a new addition to the injury list. We have no update yet on the status of Judkins. Isaiah McGuire didn't practice today after leaving with an injury yesterday. Jared Verse did not practice in team drills today, but that looked like maybe it was more of a day off situation before the joint practice tomorrow. Alex Wright, Julian Okwara, those were your first team defensive ends at practice today. And here you can see the full list of DNPs for the day, and I'll mention yet again that Cedric Tillman is becoming a long shot to make this roster. No idea what he's dealing with or what's going on, but if he wants any hope of making this roster, he's got to get back on the field ASAP. So that's a wrap. Again, a lighter practice today before the Browns take the field tomorrow for their joint practice. And drop it in the comments. Let me know if you guys have any questions about the team, the roster, anything that's going on here as we get ready for that joint practice and then the second preseason game on Saturday.
All right, the Browns are about to get the measuring stick of their offseason, welcoming in AFC favorite Buffalo for a joint practice tomorrow before hosting the Bills for Cleveland's preseason home opener Saturday. It is a couple of days of opportunity for Shedeur Sanders amid the Browns' ongoing quarterback battle. Sanders slated to get the start Saturday and play the entirety of the first half, much like we saw Deshaun Watson get in Chicago. As far as pressure, though, Shedeur not feeling it.
Every day is important. I wouldn't say it's a day that's not important, so that's just another day going out there doing what I got to do, honestly. I don't really feel anxiety or any pressure. You know, it's just another day of going to work, you know. That's all it is for me.
And it has been an interesting couple of days of work in Berea. Here's Cameron Justice from what's been a feisty practice field.
All right, day 16 of Browns training camp in the books. It was an interesting one and a short one. Perhaps that was for the best after the way Tuesday's practice ended very abruptly after a physical day in pads. Now, Tuesday's practice was one that saw Quinshon Judkins banged up a bunch at the end. Todd Monken calling it early, getting the guys in huddle and having some choice words for them. Judkins was not out here in Wednesday's practice. We're told he's dealing with something minor, but regardless, getting to cool off the day before a joint practice, probably for the best. Head coach Todd Monken spoke about what happened on Tuesday and why he shut down that practice early.
I love the way our guys practice, and I love our defense. But there comes a time where Browns have to take care of Browns, you know, and that's part of it. We got to be able to practice together collectively. It wasn't malicious. No one's trying to get another player hurt. That's just part of it. I thought we'd had enough.
Now, again, this was a low-tempo, short day, just about a 90-minute practice compared to some of these 2.5-hour days. That's intentional because the Browns have a long day ahead of them as they host the Buffalo Bills for joint practice on Thursday, and it's hard to believe it will not be an intense session. For now, in Berea, Cameron Justice, News 5.
Cleveland, Ohio. Berea Training Facility, day 1 of training camp. Deshaun Watson jogs out with the first team offense, and for a second, it looks like 2020 Watson is back. He drops a beautiful deep curl off a scramble. The crowd pops. Frying Browns fans finally exhale. And then it happens. Twice. Back-to-back interceptions. One picked off by Denzel Ward. The next one swiped right over the middle by Damari Mathis. In the span of a few plays, the golden moment turns into a nightmare rerun. Watson completed a deep curl off Gage Larvadain off a scramble, but shortly thereafter threw back-to-back interceptions, one by Denzel Ward and one by new cornerback Damari Mathis over the middle. Folks, this is the $230 million quarterback, and on day one of a make-or-break camp, he's already handing the ball to the defense twice. So let me ask you the question every Browns fan, every NFL analyst, and honestly, every football fan in this country is asking right now. Is Deshaun Watson's job in danger? In his Shedeur Sanders, the kid who fell to the 5th round, the kid who was doubted, roasted, and written off, about to steal the keys to Cleveland? Let's get into it. Understand something. This isn't just a quarterback competition. This is a soap opera 4 years in the making. The Browns handed Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed contract worth $230 million. It remains one of the most controversial and criticized deals in modern NFL history. Since signing it, Watson has battled injuries, inconsistency, and 2 separate Achilles tears that nearly ended his career altogether. Now it's 2026, new head coach, new system, and a front office that has stayed suspiciously quiet about who their guy actually is. A lot of people around the league believe that Watson has a prime chance here to get that job back. The Browns made a $230 million investment 4 years ago, and perhaps they can get something on it here in the end. That's the pressure Watson is walking into. Not just win the job, justify the contract, justify 4 years of chaos, justify a franchise's patience running on fumes. And standing right across from him, a 24-year-old kid with a famous last name and something to prove every single day of his life. Shedeur Sanders didn't have the storybook rookie season people expected. No one in the league threw more interceptions than Sanders' 10 after he made his debut in Week 11 last season, and no one held the ball longer either, averaging 3.40 seconds before throwing. Holding on to the ball too long, that was the exact same flaw scouts warned about back in college. It followed him straight into the NFL. But here's the thing about Shedeur Sanders, he does not fold. He fought back, in OTAs, in minicamp, in every single rep he could get in front of these coaches. He started closing the gap. Shedeur Sanders made real progress during OTAs and minicamp and managed to close some of the distance on Deshaun Watson heading into camp. So when Watson threw those 2 picks on day 1, the building noticed, the fans noticed, and Sanders, quietly, competitively, noticed too.
Now here's where this story gets even crazier, because the NFL does not do predictable. Preseason Game 1, Chicago Bears. The lights go on for real, and Deshaun Watson comes out and looks like a completely different quarterback than the one who threw those camp interceptions. 11 of 15 passing, 126 yards, 2 scoring drives, no picks. Watson's offense scored all 10 of the Browns' points, and he was the only quarterback who didn't throw an interception that day. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders comes in during mop-up duty against Chicago's backups and throws an interception on the final play of his outing. Sanders completed just 6 of 11 passes for 79 yards with an interception on the final play. You hear that? The story flipped. The guy who looked shaky in camp walked into a real NFL stadium and delivered. The guy who was gaining momentum stumbled at the worst possible time. This is exactly why the Browns quarterback room has become the most talked about position battle in the entire league. This is one of the most intriguing preseason quarterback competitions in recent NFL history, because nobody, and I mean nobody, can tell you with confidence who's starting Week 1. So where does that leave us? Round 1, Watson. Round 1 went to Deshaun Watson after that preseason opener, but this thing is far from decided. Sanders gets another shot in Week 2 of preseason against Buffalo, and everybody around that building knows one bad half doesn't erase months of progress. Here's my honest take. Deshaun Watson's leash is short, not because of talent, but because of history. Every interception, every hesitant read, every hint of the old Watson is going to be magnified under a microscope this franchise built for itself the day they signed that contract. And Shedeur Sanders, he's not just fighting for reps, he's fighting to prove that 5th-round pick was the wrongest wrong in NFL draft history. This isn't a quarterback competition anymore. This is a referendum on an entire era of Cleveland Browns football. So I want to know from you, right now, in the comments, who do you think is starting Week 1 for the Cleveland Browns? Deshaun Watson, the $230 million veteran fighting for his legacy? Or Shedeur Sanders, the kid who refuses to be counted out? Drop your prediction below. Let's argue about it, because that's what we do here. And if you want more no-fluff, no-nonsense NFL breakdowns like this one, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and turn on notifications, because trust me, this Browns quarterback saga is just getting started. See you in the next one.